If you're interested in learning about Memphis, Tennessee, and or Keino Spring, you're in the right place. This is Want to Move There, Season 3, the remix. I'm DerekBicksler, one of your hosts, realtor and digital marketer here in Harrisburg and Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Here beside me is my co-host, Krista.Lorenzo, realtor in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Today on the show, like I said, we've got Keino Spring, realtor in Memphis, Tennessee. And we're gonna, haze you, I guess, is the word. That's not the word I was looking for, but we haze you into the show by just jumping right in, and we're going to ask you, well, first you can say hello to people, but then pick a number between 1 and 30.
Hey, everybody. 1 and 30. Let's go in the middle. That's a 15. How about that?
15, cool.
Yeah.
And this list is fun and wacky questions.
Ooh.
And it is the same list as last episode. I've been losing the lists every time, but I'm trying to keep the same list. So you said 15, right?
15, yes. Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten on a dare?
Oh.
I don't think I've ever had to eat anything on a dare, but I've ate stuff that people might think is weird. Like I eat iguana growing up.
Iguana?
Iguana, yeah. Mongoose, which you guys probably call squirrel, all kind of the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, so stuff like that. I eat stuff like that growing up all the time.
Wait, a mongoose is like a ferret.
Yeah, it's like a squirrel.
Yeah, kind of,
mongoose,
I guess. Yeah.
Actually, mongoose actually is really good at killing snakes.
Oh yeah, isn't that what Ricky Tikki Tavi? There's a whole
snake. Yeah.
Interesting.
Huh.
I don't think I've ever been dared to eat anything either. And the most weird thing, I've had alligator and I've had like crickets and things like that, but never a squirrel.
Like deep fried crispy crickets, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not been dared, but like I said, things people might call weird are just stuff we ate.
Yeah. And it really depends where you grow up and what you're used to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember chitlins or chitterlings or however you say it.
Chitlins.
My friends, I grew up in the city, and so people were making those, and it smells the whole house. You can smell it outside when people are making, because they like boil it. It's pig intestines, I guess, is what it is. And then the way that my friends' parents made it was they boiled it in a big pot, and then it was kind of served like in a broth. I don't know if that's how everybody makes it, but the whole house, it reeked, and I'm sure the people that like it loved it, but like poop, like what I remember as just like rancid. Like it was all still in there and you just cooked it off. I'm sure it was cleaned by the butcher or something, but I remember having that, and I tried it, kind of like calamari kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I tell you a chitlin story. Back home we call it tripe. It's the exact same thing, but back home it's fresh because you kill the animal and you eat it right away. Here, because they do all kind of stuff, store it, got that smell. So we do eat it back at home too, but it's total. And most of the time we use like fry it to get like really crispy and nice. So here I can't eat it here. I've never eaten in America because you're right, it stinks. You say whatever word you want to use, it stinks. It looks like people got to put all kind of hot sauce and stuff in it just so that they can eat it. I'm not going for that. But no,
that's what they did too.
Yeah,
it was like in a broth, and then they just be.
Yeah, and another thing, there is this client back home. Well, I keep saying back home. I'm from St. Vincent in the Caribbean. St. Vincent Grenadines in the Caribbean. There's this little plant grow home, and it grows like little branches, and they're about the size of the tribe. So you can actually use it, put it on it, and when you pull it down, it turns the tribe over so you can clean the inside.
Oh,
interesting. So you actually clean the inside by turning it over. And they just clean the inside. Clean the outside first, then you clean the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so get some fresh tripe is what you're saying.
Yes, it's fresh.
And then it doesn't stink.
No, because it's fresh and you use it, you eat it right away.
Interesting. So you said you were from St. Vincent, and I noticed when I was reading more about you that your favorite music was soca, and I wasn't familiar with what that was. Was that something in St. Vincent?
Yes, soca's it's in the whole Caribbean pretty much.
Okay.
It's a really upbeat, really upbeat music. It's something you listen to parties, just the kind of music I play if I'm cleaning up or when I work out. That's the kind of stuff I listen to. It originated like from Africa, probably like with slavery and stuff back in the Caribbean. But that's, if you ever get a chance, just type in, if you're on Amazon and if you're on YouTube, just type in soca music and it'll pull up. And if you like real fast, upbeat, lively music,
totally.
Yeah, Carnival. That's the music you play in Carnival. Soca
okay.
That's the music you hear in Carnival. Yeah.
Excellent. Yes, I love that type of music. And you're in Memphis now. How long have you been there?
I've been in Memphis since 99.
Okay.
But I've been in the States since 94. I lived in Rhode Island first. Then left Rhode Island, moved to Minnesota with a job. I actually lived in Kansas City, lived in Illinois, and then Memphis. But I've been in Memphis more than any time in my life. I've been in Memphis the longest.
Okay.
I like how you qualified. The only one you qualified there was Minnesota. You had to add on for a job because, like, the next question was going to be like, so why'd you go to Minnesota?
Well, they were all jobs. By the way,
like the Lake State or something. I don't even know. It's cold.
They were all jobs. Rhode Island was college. When I finished Rhode Island college, I moved to Chicago because of the job. Then the same job moved me to Minnesota, Kansas City, brought me to Memphis. I don't work with them anymore, but yeah.
Were they all real estate, or is real estate new? Okay.
No, real estate is relatively new. Back then, I used to work with the Wyndham Hotels.
Okay.
I was a property accountant for the Wyndham Hotels. Real estate is a little bit over 4 years, actually. But before that, I sold cars for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I sold Cadillacs. Of that time, I sold Cadillacs for 15 of that 20. And then during the pandemic, some things changed around, and I decided to get out to move on.
Very cool. And you
drive a Cadillac? Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Do you drive a Cadillac? I'll finish this.
Not right now, but I did. I hate car loans, by the way.
Your favorite color is blue.
Say that one more time.
Your favorite color is blue. Favorite food is pizza. Is the pizza in Memphis any different than regular pizza?
Well, we don't have like, if you want to say like New York great pizza or anything like that. But for me, when it's all said and done, pizza is pizza. Yeah. It's bad food. It's bad food that you eat as much as you can, and then you be mad at yourself for eating that much pizza. I was just in Italy last month, so I got to eat pizza, and that was the one thing I was looking forward to, was eating pizza in Italy, and I was not disappointed.
Yeah.
It was good.
Where all did you go in Italy?
Well, my wife and I went on our 25th anniversary cruise. So we flew into Barcelona, and then we went on a 9-day cruise. And the stops were Ibiza, Mallorca, Rome, Livorno, which we got to see pizza, and Florence. Also stopped in Naples, and then Cannes in France.
Wow, what a great itinerary.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really good. We had a really good time. The weather was great. It was like 60-something degrees. Perfect weather. No rain. It was great.
Sounds beautiful. I was in Spain last summer, and it was 110. Woo. And I do not like heat. So that one was a bit rough for me, but your weather sounds like it was lovely.
Was it kind of like the south humidity, or just one?
Very, very humid. Yeah. My daughter was studying in Madrid. So we flew into Madrid and then took the train and some private transportation down through like the southern Spain to see like the Rock of Gibraltar and over to Granada and everything. And I mean, it was gorgeous. I just preferred a little cooler.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned it was your wedding anniversary. And so you're married and have kids that are 19, 21, and 24.
Yes.
Are some in the house still, out of the house?
My oldest one, she's outside the house. My middle one is back from college. She goes to the University of Memphis, so she's back for the summer. Nice. And my son, he lives at home. He has a job. He lives at home. And matter of fact, this year you could add 1 year to each one of those. They're all going to have birthdays to move up one this year.
Wow. Good ages, fun ages. It's fun. Mine are like 20 and 22 now, and it's just a enjoyable age because it's like they're kind of coming into their own, and you can hang out together and do things together, and they're growing up.
Yep. Yep. That's true. Yeah. And the good thing about it, like being on social media is not always a good thing, but every once in a while it's good because they give you a video or something from way back when. And it pops up and you're like, wow, that's what they used to look like. That's when I used to like them.
Remember, or imagine like 50 years from now, because it can only go back so far to what, like 2008 or something. But then I love it. Yeah. My mom just sent one of my daughter saying happy birthday to her and like all the moms in her life or whatever when she's almost 12 now, but she was like 5, I think. Yeah, those are some of my favorite. Sometimes I post things just so it'll remind me later, or it's not even for other people, it's for my own commemoration. Actually, on my YouTube channel, I put home videos, like sometimes hours long of just like home videos I just store on YouTube private, and then if somebody else wants to see it, I make it public or whatever, and then we can sit here and like there's like you could watch for days probably, and it would just be videos of us at Christmas or Easter or just like the concert. I'll just videotape it unedited. It's just like literally like old school home video and put it on there.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And then if something happens to me or something too, it's like there and easy to find, I guess, probably. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Did you say if he likes dogs or cats? I'm always interested in this question too. Because Blue, by the way, Blue is always, it's been Blue every time. Yeah. Every time I've done it before, majority of people say Blue. Blue is by far the most favoritist color in the world. But anyway, does he like pets?
He likes dogs.
We have 3 dogs. We have 2 German Shepherds. A matter of fact, if you on my TikTok, sometimes I make videos of them as people buying homes and me and them talking. So I do stuff like that. They have their own little TikTok. I don't post as much on it, but they have their own TikTok. The names are Bobby and Junior.
I like that.
That's the German Shepherd, and then we have Berry, which is a border collie. But she stays away from me because they're too aggressive. So she doesn't play them. And the 2 of them, they do everything together. Like they be in my office, and Junior be out in the corner, and Bobby over here. Before you know, she walk all the way down and just lay down right next to Bobby.
Aww.
Yeah, well, they're really cool. I love them. Yes.
Did you get them at the same time?
No, but they are brothers, by the way. But we didn't. Okay. We got them from my wife's sister. But we didn't. They're about, I say, probably 1 year apart. Yeah, I think they're about 1 year apart.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Is Memphis where Elvis was from?
Well, he's known for Memphis, but he's not from Memphis. He's actually from Mississippi. I forget what city, but he is from Mississippi. But Memphis is where Graceland is. That's why everything is Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where Graceland. That's a big deal. Like you have Elvis Week. Yeah, be so much people. But it's a pretty cool area. They got like song stage. You can go to concerts over there. Actually, with the comedy show not too long ago over there. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
What's the capital of Tennessee? Because I'm seeing on the map here.
Nashville.
It's Nashville. Oh, duh. Yeah, because that's in the center now that I see. Because they never put the capitals. Like Memphis is like, could they put it is it right on the border or what?
Memphis is right on the border of Arkansas and Mississippi. I am literally, if I get up right now, jump in my car, I'll be in Mississippi in 10 minutes.
Is there like a spot that you're like on 3 states at one time there or something?
No, I don't think we have that. But Memphis is right there by all of them because the Mississippi separates us, so we don't have that like connection.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we don't have that. Yeah. But it's I can be in Arkansas from my house probably 30 minutes, get across the bridge. But Mississippi, because I'm actually a real estate agent in both Mississippi and Tennessee. Because it's so close, a lot of people move state to state, so it's not a bad idea to be licensed in both states.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and the only reason I know any idea where it might be like you can see on the map, is the chef. Did you guys learn that in geography? You have the chef, the boot is Louisiana, the hat is Minnesota, head is Iowa, blah, blah, blah. And then the tray is Tennessee, and Kentucky is the piece of chicken on the tray. Did you guys learn that?
No, but what a great way to learn it.
That's the only reason I know where, and I don't remember any of the other ones, the boot or the hat or any of them other than Kentucky and Tennessee. But I had no idea where Memphis was specifically, that it was all the way in the corner, kind of like Pittsburgh's kind of pretty
tucked away in the corner.
Far to the west too. I'm in the middle, but yeah. So interesting. So right now looks like it's 72 degrees if Google is correct. And
it's about, let me see, I'll tell you what it says here.
Which I guess you're about,
Actually, it's saying we're 80. It is saying right now we're 81.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I got to tell you something about Memphis and Nashville. Nashville is the capital of Tennessee, but Memphis is its own state. We're Memphis. We're different than the rest. We're Memphis.
I love that.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because the politics differ, or
politics for one,
food, or just all of it?
Or politics, food. Even in Memphis, there's Memphis, and then there's parts of Memphis that are like for example, you won't find it geographically in the map, but it's part of Memphis, like North Memphis. Some people like just a very what's the word? Take pride in the area that they're from in Memphis itself. So it's if you go on YouTube, there's this video of this guy. I think it was a boxing match or somebody was in the locker room. It's like he went viral, like you said, Memphis, the greatest, the beautifulest land in the world, something like that. So if you, I'll try to find a video and send it to you, but it's really cool. So people of Memphis, we think Nashville is snobby. Memphis is more down to earth, blue collar kind of, city. And everybody thinks we're horrible, by the way. But I love Memphis. I love Memphis. That's my. This is.
So why do people love it so much? What are there things in particular, or unique things, or like what about Nashville? Is there anything like Nashville people are like, but Memphis people are like?
Yeah, Memphis have more of if you want to say more soul. Memphis is more integrated. Memphis have a little bit of everything. Memphis is very diverse, and not always in a good way, by the way. There's some things that are, because like for example, in Memphis, like literally speaking, people say if you're born on the wrong side of the track. That is actually here in Memphis. Like there'll be a train track, literally, and on one side of the train track, $1 million homes, and on the other side, $20,000 homes. So literally, so Memphis has a long history of everything, the good and the bad, but there's a lot of soul here. People from Memphis really do love Memphis. Like anywhere else, we have our problems, but it's, of all the places I've lived, I think it's the most diverse, little bit of everything. I don't know if I can totally describe it, but it's different. Memphis is just different.
Well, Google says that the birthplace of rock and roll is Memphis, so that's pretty important.
Memphis, not to cut out, but Memphis, I think, is the most mentioned city, if I'm not mistaken, in music.
Wow.
Home of the blues, Beale Street, blah, blah, blah. Jazz, Graceland, you said. National Civil Rights Museum. That's
Sun
cool.
Studio.
Sun Studio it mentions, and then food and barbecue, all obviously too. But the music scene obviously is pretty awesome. And then Nashville is known as a music scene too. So all of Tennessee is kind of a music mecca, I would think. Do you go see music? Are there any of your are there any favorite places, venues to see them, either bars, holes in the wall, or bigger venues or anything?
I usually don't go to the big venues like the FedEx Forum concerts and stuff like that. I don't go to stuff like that. That's too whatever. I like the hole in the wall bars, like on Beale Street. You go watch 6 guys with instruments and just killing it. There's also it's called Shell. It's changed the name, but it's like an amphitheater inside a park here. And every summer they have like a music. different artists and stuff come. They're never big name, but really good artists that you'll see there. Matter of fact, I think we have a group of us going to watch somebody, I think, later this month. So that's a really cool thing. But there's always live music somewhere going on in Memphis. If you ever come to Memphis and you got to go on Beale Street, that's where all the bars are, the live music. It's people flipping down the street. It's entertainment. It's really, really cool.
You've never been there, cool. Krista? You seem like you would have been there or should be there.
I've never been to Memphis, and my only experience or knowledge about Beale Street came from the Elvis movie. But in the Elvis movie, it looked amazing, and it showed like him and B.B. King, and just like the way he got so much inspiration from hanging out there and listening to the live music. So I think it'd be amazing to check out. I'm not a country music fan, so the thought of going to Nashville, I'm like, no thanks. It just doesn't sound. I'm like, no. But I would totally be interested in checking out Memphis.
Yeah, it's a very, very lively music. Some of the greatest musicians are from Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then food too, right? Is known for barbecue. Does it differ from I know there's like certain types of barbecue. Some have like certain types of sauce, or I never know the difference. Some is naked. You just get the meat, and it's a sin to put sauce on it or something. So what's the food? Well, I guess, yeah, tell us about the barbecue or that kind of thing. But then I also want to know everybody knows about music and barbecue. I want to know something that maybe people don't know already, but tell us about the food scene and maybe a favorite place if you have it or something.
In terms of barbecue, I'm not a big barbecue fan because I generally eat pretty healthy. So, and the thing with barbecue is like there's always that piece of too much fat and stuff like that. So I'm not a big barbecue, but the people who do barbecue,
put it in the comments if you like barbecue or not.
Yeah, people who do barbecue and like barbecue, I mean, we'll tell you Memphis is one of the best areas. Actually, matter of fact, there used to be this thing called Barbecue Fest every May. I think they changed it around a little bit. I think they're still having it, but the name and stuff might change where people come from all over the world and cook barbecue down on the river. It's a really beautiful park downtown Memphis on the river. They just actually redesigned it, changed it up. You have like basketball courts, places to walk, places for kids to play. Now that's where stuff like that happened. So there's really food is good. There's really good food here, but I personally like to cook. So a lot of time I'll rather cook a meal than go out and eat a meal. That's just me. Especially the thing I found too, that the more healthy you try to eat, the more you cook.
True.
You try to do it more at home than going out, because when you go, you don't have as much control. But I do go out and eat. But I'm also a creature of habit. So you'll find me going to the same place every time. If it's good, I'm going to keep going back. Keep going back. Because my scare is that if I go try something and I don't like it, then I'll be mad that I didn't go to my other place.
You'll miss your favorite meal at the other one.
Yeah, like for example, we used to go to this Mexican restaurant right next to my house here, which by the way, there's like tons of Mexican restaurants in Memphis, like everywhere else probably. And we used to get the exact same thing, but I never knew the name. So when we go and look at my wife, I'm like, what did I get again?
Would you just say like number 4? Give me the number 5. Or they knew you just didn't even order it?
You can't at least know what you ordered. I'm like, no, my wife knows what I ordered. Yeah. Something that people don't know about Memphis, I think just how friendly the people are. Memphis people are really, they are good people. They would help you. A lot of people, we say that about everywhere, but Memphis people will come out. They'll, for one of a better word, like say, give it a shirt off their back. Oh. It's a very, very, I love the diversity in Memphis too. And I always, wherever I live, especially in Memphis itself, I try to live in those areas where that are very diverse. There's some areas that's not as diverse like anything else, but I always try to live in areas that are as diverse, because I don't want to see only me or people look like me or do the same thing as me. I want to, but it's very diverse. But it has its history. Can't deny it. It has its history, but a lot of good things going on.
That's awesome.
I was just looking up the population because that can give some indication of the size of a city or something. And it's pretty big. according to 2023 census, 618,000, and what it is, whether that's what boundary exactly that is, I don't know, but the metro area or whatever still gives you some gauge. 618,000. Atlanta is less at 510,000. So it's got more people than Atlanta. That's shocking. Pittsburgh, for reference, where Krista is 303. So half of Memphis. And then me in Harrisburg, 50,000, a whopping 50,000. So I'm 1/12 of Memphis here.
Yeah, but that's nothing considered the way I grew up. Where I grew up, there was about 150 people. We literally used to sit on the side of the road and count all the houses and count all the people. And I think the most we ever came up to was maybe 100 people. So,
do you ever go back and visit?
Yeah, I was home not this April, previous April. My wife and I went home then. We went back. I've been back a few times since then. The kids been twice. My wife been 3 times because we went alone. This last time we went without the kids. I've tried to go home as much as possible. Things have changed. Like we never had an international airport, so we had to fly to one island and catch a smaller plane to our island. But now we do, so it's a lot easier to get home now. So I can literally leave here and be home 1:30 in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Catch a flight in Memphis. Flight leave at 6. Probably go to probably Atlanta or Miami, and I'll be home 1:30 in the afternoon. Still have the whole day to enjoy.
That's awesome.
So you got an airport right there. That's a lot of times the question I ask anyway. International airport.
Yep.
There's direct stuff too, or do they usually connect?
Now from Memphis, I don't have any direct, but there's a lot of direct from many places. Like you get direct from, I know Delta just about to start a flight from Atlanta direct. JetBlue flies direct from New York. American Airlines fly direct from Miami and I think Philadelphia. You have direct flights with Air Canada from Canada, direct flights from Europe, Virgin Airlines. So there's a lot of direct flights you can get down there pretty. I know that there's a lot more going. The prices have come down tremendously. So
that's good.
It's about the same price you'll pay to go to any other Caribbean, depending on the time of year.
Yeah.
From here, Google says I can get to Memphis right now in 4 hours, 19 minutes from Harrisburg International Airport, which is not great it's a international via connections. I think there might be one anyway. $241 from here to get to Memphis.
To get to Memphis.
Is there a Pittsburgh airport?
Yes, Pittsburgh is an international airport,
and
we do have direct to. We go all direct to LA. Not that that's international, but it's on the other side of the country. We do have direct to England. They're getting more and more. They're redoing our airport right now. It's about 90% done, and that'll add a lot more international flights. They said. We used to be a hub years and years ago, but we haven't been. So we had to, usually if we go to Philadelphia, then we can get to everywhere else. And to fly to Philly is like an hour.
Okay. Yeah, I used to go to Philly a lot. I used to live in St. Martin. So I used to go to St. Martin a lot when I first came to America. And Philly was one of the places that I used to fly to.
Philly has tons of international flights.
Yeah.
And they're a hub for American, and American has a lot of international. Don't get me started on American right now. I'm not flying them right now. They screwed up my Turks and Caicos trip and my Spain one. So.
Oh no, my uncle lives in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah,
I have an uncle that lives in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, we were just there in March. It was gorgeous. And they're actually Turks and Caicos who's redoing their airport because tourism has blown up so much there that they can't handle. I mean, the line to like check in is literally outside. So they're in the middle of redoing it. It's just hard when you're on an island to redo a whole airport.
Yeah. That's tough. Yep.
I wrote it down here. You're on the Mississippi. I didn't realize you said you're the river. And then I was like, what river? And it's the Mississippi River. You're right along, which is a pretty big river, I'm guessing, I think.
Yes.
Do you have like pontoon boat culture or like stuff like that? Water skiing? Is there a dam somewhere that makes it deeper somewhere? Or like, is there a boat or river stuff going on?
Yeah, well, the big Mississippi itself, there's not a lot of activity other than barges taking stuff up and down the river. So people who usually the boat culture have like what they call the tributaries. That's kind of more where you'll see a lot of the boat culture.
So it's that big. They use it for like shipping,
cargo. Yeah, you literally, if you go downtown, many times a day you'll see barges going, long barges. The Corps of Engineers use it a lot to move stuff up and down the Mississippi. Because it goes from Minnesota all the way down, Minnesota to Louisiana, I think it is, on the Mississippi.
Does it have like steamboats and things like that?
Yeah, steamboats.
Okay.
Yes, you have steamboats. You can do some. They have some boat cruises and stuff, like dinner cruises and stuff. Yeah, but so most.
Can you go like that whole way on a cruise?
Well, no. There is some. I think the Vike, for example, maybe like Viking or maybe one of those places do the big river cruises. But you can do like a local, just like a little. I want to have dinner cruise on the Mississippi.
That'd be cool.
Steamboat or something like that. Yeah.
I like doing things like that when I visit a city. My husband and we travel to a lot of cities. He's really into baseball, so we're doing like a tour of all the major league parks.
Okay.
And I love to do like a boat tour or bus, like just something for a few hours to learn about the history and things like that you don't know just walking around.
Yeah, they used to have. I don't think having it's called a duck boats.
Oh
you go from the water. Those. And then you go from the land and you go in the cross over the Mississippi, come back up. That was cool. Yeah.
One of ours capsized, so I don't think we have them anymore.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah. Once it flipped over, we're like, all right, maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah, maybe we might want to not do this anymore. Wow.
Yeah.
So we touched on flying and where you would fly out of. If you were driving to a vacation, you're like right in the middle of the country. How far would you go south to a coast? If you were doing a driving vacation, what would be like a go-to driving getaway vacation?
Well, I'll tell you about something that we've actually done. Because with 3 kids, a lot of time it's easier to drive than to the expense of flying, depending on where you're going. So we've actually done Canada twice. We've actually driven to Canada, to Toronto, Canada twice.
Wow. That's pretty far, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty far. I think it took us like 14 hours, whatever it was, 12, 14 hours. So it's not horrible. The first time we did it, we went across the Detroit side, hang out in Toronto where my mom lives, and then we drove down on the New York side, check out New York, then check out Washington, D.C., came back home. When we got back in the garage, the odometer was right at 4,000 miles for the trip.
Wow.
It was really cool. So we've done that. We've driven to Florida. A lot of people from Memphis actually drives to Destin, Florida on vacation because it's about a 7-hour drive, give and take. Yeah, they also drive to Orange Beach in Alabama. That's another place that people drive to. And then Atlanta is a 5-hour drive from Memphis. So for any weekend, you just get in a car, drive to Atlanta, hang out, come back. Atlanta is a 5-hour drive from Memphis, which we've done many times too. And I've driven. My daughter used to go to FAMU in Tallahassee, and we've driven that too. That's about 11 hours. So yeah, I used to enjoy the driving. I love flying too, but something about driving, especially when it's a good scenic route.
Yes.
It's some routes are boring, but
yeah.
There's some good scenic routes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. With podcasts and things these days, it's not.
Yeah.
Or it used to be fun. You'd have like your set of CDs back in the day, the tapes, the mix, and the clink clink. The tape would break sometimes. Man, I wish I had some of my old mixes from back in the day because we made some bangers.
Some good mixes. Yeah. You gotta.
Yeah. I mean, we painstakingly stop, record, pause, like with the two decks to like mix them and like it was. Yeah, super. Sometimes you have to listen to the radio and just be ready and just record.
Hit play. Can you shut up so I can record this thing?
Yeah, you messed it up. I've been waiting all day for them to play that song.
You talk in the middle of the song.
Huh.
That is
All right.
true.
Well, looks like we're almost at time, but before I
Chris,
do our
let me ask you. I
go
kind
ahead.
of know what Derek does, and you're an agent. How long you've been in real estate?
I have been an agent for 26 years, but prior to that, I did like property management, flipping houses, things like
Okay.
that. I actually got my degree in business and architecture, so being an agent like fits right in with that.
Right.
And we were buying and flipping properties, and I was like, oh, I'll just get my license, so that I have access to all the information right away. And then it turned into something that I just loved. So it's been 26 years, and I'm one of the top agents in our area. And I've been with Coldwell Banker that whole time and absolutely love it.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Awesome.
It's a long time to be at one brokerage, which is
I
great.
know.
Saying a lot for the brokerage. And I will, well, I won't, I will, whatever.
You can.
I'm there now, and it's my favorite one I've ever been at so far.
Yeah.
And that's could be the local. It's probably part of the local management, but also part of the larger infrastructure, I'm sure. Also,
I absolutely
and we're not
think,
pitching brokerages, and this was not purposeful that we're at the same brokerage either as co-hosts, but I do enjoy it there, and that's a long time. 26 years at one. That probably doesn't happen that much.
Every few years I look and I'm like, I like our tools. I like our management. I like our culture. I mean, I've had the same secretary almost that entire time. We all, it's a good, solid name, but it gives me the tools I need so that I can do my job well. And, that's what, systems make everything work better.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you want to make sure people know about Memphis, or a reason to visit? Obviously, you've got the music and the food culture and a bigger city apparently than Atlanta, so plenty of reasons to go there. But is there anything people wouldn't know, or anything you want to leave people with about Memphis, or about the people there, or anything you want to mention?
Yeah, like I said, the people of Memphis are really, really nice people, friendly people. There's good atmosphere, like I said, good barbecue if you like that kind of stuff. There's other good restaurants as well. Like any place else, you hear of all the negative, but I promise you, it's there's a whole lot more positive going on in the city. If you come here and you stay in the downtown area, like I said, there's a park right down on the river. You can go walking. There is actually
a promenade. Is that what they call those things?
No, it's actually like
at the beach they call it a promenade. I don't know if that's a common term for.
Actually, what they've done in the last few years is one of the bridges that train you still go over on the side. They took an old train track and built a walking track, so now you can walk across the bridge across the Mississippi into Arkansas. So a lot of people actually go walking and biking. And it's really cool. So there's a lot to do. I think you can find there's all the museum of yesterday, the Civil Rights Museum. There's a Cotton Museum. There's a Brooks Museum. Of course, if you're Elvis fan, you got Graceland. Can't forget about Graceland. And if you like live music, drinking, all that kind of stuff, Beale Street, of course. During the basketball season, there's the Grizzlies right downtown, right by Beale Street, FedEx Forum. So there's a lot to do, we are actually, I'm going to tell you a little thing that a lot of people don't know, and it might not be important, but at night, beginning about 11 o'clock to about 3, give and take in the morning, the Memphis airport becomes the busiest airport in the world because of FedEx.
Oh.
With FedEx planes landing and taking off probably about every, I forget how many minutes, whatever it is, but it becomes the busiest airport because this is FedEx hub. This is FedEx. Memphis is FedEx. Just about everybody in Memphis at some point worked at FedEx. It's like a rite of passage. So yeah, the airport becomes the busiest airport in the world around that time when all the planes come in, because you're talking about hundreds of planes taking off within a space of 2 hours. So that's something that's
really cool.
Yeah, I used to work there, and I always wanted to be a pilot, but I never became a pilot. I'm actually going to start getting my private license, by the way. I used to work at FedEx, get off at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to the end of the runway and just watch the planes take off.
Oh, that's so cool.
Just constantly take off. It's weird. So no, that's a factor of Memphis because the whole Memphis is also like the distribution hub in the country. A lot of I think Amazon's second largest warehouse, if I'm not mistaken, is in this area. Second or third largest warehouse in this area. A lot of stuff happened. The distribution hub here in Memphis. So there's a lot of good solid warehouse jobs you can get in Mississippi, right across the border, Mississippi on Memphis.
That's great.
Huh. Yeah. And I'm gonna refrain from making us all do our best Elvis impression before we end the show. I would love to make everybody do that, but I will not, because and they're probably impersonators. Are there impersonators walking around more than like here? There's zero.
No, so there is a restaurant here called Marlowe's. It's on Elvis Presley Boulevard, which is right down in that area where Elvis Presley, Graceland and stuff. And there's a good chance if you go to Marlowe's on any night, you probably have a Elvis impersonator performing there at night. During Elvis week, they're everywhere. Because it's a whole week of Elvis.
You got to mention Elvis week.
Elvis week, yeah. I don't know if you can look, if you can Google it.
You're burying the lead here. Elvis week.
And I think it's coming up, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But you look Elvis week, and they come from all over the world. All over the world. They're Elvis impersonators, just people who love Elvis. Graceland is packed. It's a whole week of Elvis.
That's content right there for us.
Right.
If anybody needs content, that'd be great content, especially for people that aren't from there. That'd be hilarious. A crowd full of Elvises, just Elvises as far as the eye could see. Oh, that'd be fantastic. All right. So before we close out and tell everybody where they can find you, we got one last question. If you could be anything else, do anything else, what would it be other than real estate? And again, caveat, can't say I love this, wouldn't do anything else. It's got to be something different, not real estate.
Well, actually, if I was able to do anything in the world other than being a real estate agent right now, I'd be a pilot. I always wanted to be a pilot. I love flying. I love aviation. I try and stay up with it as much as I can. So that would be the number one thing. And with two reasons, it's the reason why I became an accountant. Well, I have an accounting degree. I never became an accountant, because I wanted to travel, be a traveler and auditor, to get in planes and fly around. So it's always, I love aviation. Tried to get my son to be a pilot. He said yes at one time, and he changed his mind. Now I'm mad at him.
Yeah, I'm with you. I took, I was at like 20 hours, I think, when 9/11 happened.
Wow.
And then the jobs like went down the toilet. And it's super expensive, especially when you're 21 or whatever I was.
Yeah.
It was like $300 an hour every hour, something like that, because you're renting the plane, you're renting the instructor and the fuel, and I'm sure now it's even more. But I also got, I think there were varying degrees of planes you maybe could get or whatever. But yeah, I'm with you. That's still on my bucket list. I've downgraded it to, I'm just gonna buy a ultralight, like the little thing with the fan. Yeah. 2-seater with the fan and a paraglider ultralight, I guess is what it would be. They're only like 10 grand.
A lot more engine on the back.
Yeah. And there's a place close to here they take off, so it'd be kind of. We also have small airports too, but yeah, I'm with you there. Just to get the private too, not even forget about doing it commercial. For work. It'd be fun to just have the license and be able to fly around and have a plane. I think that'd be cool. Boats are cool too. Plane you can kind of use to go somewhere though, right?
Yeah.
You can use boats to go somewhere too.
I guess so too. Longer. On the Mississippi especially, we've learned.
Takes longer.
Awesome. Well, let's put your information up here so everybody knows where to find you. If you need to reach out to Keino or need anything in Memphis, Tennessee, you can reach him at 901-301-4912, 901-301-4912, or you can email him at Keino@thevinceyrealtor.com. That's Keino@thevinceyrealtor.com, or find him online at Keino Memphis. KeinoMemphisRealEstate.com. KeinoMemphisRealEstate.com. And if you need anything in the Harrisburg or Carlisle area or in the Pittsburgh area, reach out to myself or Krista or anywhere else in the world. If you need anything, we've got connections all over the planet. Reach out and we can connect you with someone. Thanks for watching and listening. Oh, and I didn't use any of my my extra wingdings and stuff that I said I was going to use.
Yeah, you said you had some stuff.
I want to know what the Vinci Realtor means.
Well, here's one of them. Different.
Wait.
And then there's just audio applause. But so those were the only ones I got in here today. But I will add some different ones. I wanted to get a horn, an air horn, but
that'd be fun.
I was in the middle of getting a horn.
Keino, what does Vinci Realtor mean?
Oh, cool. I'm from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is an island in the Caribbean. And the people of St. Vincent are called Vincentians. We call ourselves Vinci for short. So that's what anybody from the Caribbean see that they will know it. They will know automatically, or they will at least one of these from St. Vincent. That's what the Vinci Realtor is. That's where it came from.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I loved learning more about Memphis, and it is definitely on my list of places that I want to visit because it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I got to be in Pennsylvania for my goddaughter is graduating from University of Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Is that Philly or is that something different?
Was it
Penn State or
Philly?
UPenn?
Hold on.
I think University of Pennsylvania's Philly.
Which one is the Ivy League?
That'd be Philly, University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's where she goes.
Okay.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's serious.
Oh yeah, she's smart.
You wouldn't find me there.
Me neither. She's really, really smart. She's gonna be an attorney. So she's gonna be.
Nice.
She did a internship with like a big law firm up in Boston last summer. So she's
very cool.
She's on the right track.
Nice.
Awesome.
Those are the places to be.
That's
right. Well, thanks everybody for watching and listening, and say goodbye, you two.
Bye.
All right, guys.
Later.
Bye-bye.